Stepdad threw away my acceptance letter to an Ivy League school because he wanted me to stay local and care for my autistic half-brother. So I moved out overnight, and now my mom is calling the police reporting me as a runaway. My stepdad, Frank, threw away my acceptance letter to the one school I actually cared about getting into, and when I found it in the trash covered in coffee grounds, I just snapped. I didn't scream or fight. I just waited until everyone was asleep, packed a bag, and left. Now my phone is blowing up because my mom is telling the police I'm a runaway and having a mental breakdown, and I'm hiding out at my friend Brittany's house trying to figure out if I just ruined my life or saved it. I, 18M, have been living with my mom and Frank for about 8 years. They have a son together, my half-brother Leo, who is 6 years old. Leo is autistic and nonverbal, and he has really specific needs. He's a great kid, but he can be a lot to handle, and over the years, I've basically become the third parent. Actually, sometimes I feel like the primary parent, because I'm the only one who can get him to calm down when he's having a meltdown. Frank works long hours at a warehouse, or at least he says he does, and my mom works part-time as a receptionist. Since I've been in high school, the expectation has always been that I come straight home after school to watch Leo so my mom can cook or rest or run errands. I don't mind helping out with my brother. I love him. But it's gotten to the point where I can't do extracurriculars, I can't hang out with friends, and I can barely get my homework done because I'm constantly on duty. I applied to a bunch of colleges back in the fall. I aimed high because I have good grades, mostly because I stay up until 2 a.m. studying since that's the only quiet time in the house. My dream was this specific Ivy League school on the East Coast. It's far away, like a 6-hour flight, and the program is perfect for what I want to do. I knew Frank didn't like the idea. Every time I talked about college, he would make comments about how state school is just as good, or you can't just abandon your family to go chase a piece of paper. He's really big on the idea that family sticks together, which usually translates to you do what I say. 2 days ago, I got a notification on my phone from the USPS Informed Delivery app. It showed a scan of the mail coming that day, and there was a large envelope from the university. I was at school when I saw it, and I literally almost threw up from nerves. I couldn't focus on anything for the rest of the day. I rushed home, hoping to get to the mailbox before Frank did. Usually he gets home around 5:00, but when I walked in at 3:30, his truck was already in the driveway. He was sitting in the kitchen eating a sandwich. I went straight to the counter where we usually put the mail. There was a pile of junk mail and bills, but no big envelope. I asked him if that was all the mail. He didn't look up, just chewed his food and said, "Yeah, just bills." I felt this pit in my stomach. I asked if he was sure because I was expecting something important. He looked at me then, really calm, and said, "I brought it all in, nothing for you." I went to my room and checked the app again. It definitely said it was delivered. I thought maybe it got delivered to the wrong house, or maybe the app was wrong. I spent the next few hours watching Leo, but I was distracted. I kept thinking about that scan. Around 8:00 p.m., Frank went to take a shower. I went into the kitchen. I don't even know why I did it, really. I just had this feeling. I opened the cabinet under the sink where we keep the recycling bin. It was mostly empty, just some soda cans. Then I checked the actual trash can. Right on top was a pile of wet coffee grounds from when Frank made a fresh pot earlier. I grabbed a paper towel and moved the grounds. Underneath, torn in half, was the envelope. It was wet and stained brown, but I could clearly see the university logo. I pulled it out. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped it. I wiped off the coffee and pieced the two halves together. It was an acceptance letter. Not only that, it mentioned a financial aid package that covered almost everything. I stood there staring at it. He hadn't just thrown it away. He had torn it up and buried it under coffee grounds so I wouldn't see it. He looked me in the eye and said, "Nothing for you." I put the pieces in a Ziploc bag and put it in my pocket. I didn't say a word during dinner. I helped get Leo ready for bed. I did the dishes. I felt like I was on autopilot, or like I was floating outside my body. I kept waiting for Frank to say something, to admit it, or for my mom to mention it, but they just watched TV like everything was normal. I realized then that if I stayed, I was never going to leave. Frank would keep sabotaging me. He'd find a way to make me miss deadlines or guilt me into staying to watch Leo forever. I waited until 1:00 a.m. when I knew they were both deep asleep. I packed my backpack and a duffel bag with clothes, my laptop, my birth certificate and passport, which I had to sneak out of their filing cabinet, and some cash I had saved from mowing lawns. I called an Uber to pick me up down the street so they wouldn't hear the car. I went to Brittany's house. She's my best friend from school, and her parents have always been cool with me. I texted her beforehand, and she was waiting at the door. I told her everything. She let me crash on the futon in their basement. The next morning, yesterday, I woke up to 47 missed calls and over 100 texts. My mom was freaking out. Where are you? Leo is crying for you. Why would you do this? Then the tone changed. I'm calling the police. You're acting unstable. Come home right now or you're in big trouble. Frank sent one text. Stop acting like a child and come take care of your responsibilities. I texted my mom back and said, I'm safe. I'm staying at a friend's. I found the letter Frank threw in the trash. I know I got in. She didn't reply to the text about the letter. She just kept calling. Then about an hour later, a police car pulled up to Brittany's house. Here's where I might be the asshole, or at least where I feel like I'm losing my mind. My mom told the police I had run away and that I was having a mental health crisis and might be a danger to myself. She told them I was hallucinating about college acceptance letters. I had to stand on Brittany's porch and show the officers my ID. I'm 18, so I'm legally an adult, and the coffee stained, torn up letter in the Ziploc bag. They asked me if I was okay, if I felt safe. I explained the situation calmly, even though I was terrified inside. The cops were actually pretty nice once they realized I wasn't manic. They told me I didn't have to go home if I didn't want to. They called my mom and told her I was located and safe, but that I wasn't coming back. Now my mom is texting me saying I've destroyed the family. She says Leo is inconsolable and hurting himself because I'm not there to calm him down. She says I'm selfish for abandoning my brother over a stupid school when I could go to community college here and still help out. I feel guilty as hell about Leo. I know he doesn't understand, but I also feel like if I go back, I'm never getting out. Am I the asshole for leaving like that in the middle of the night and causing this huge scene? Edit. Some people are asking for more details about why I didn't just confront them right there in the kitchen. Honestly, I was scared. Frank has never hit me, but he has a temper. He punches walls sometimes, and he's really good at twisting things around. If I had shown him the letter, he would have said it was an accident, or that he opened it and it was bad news so he threw it away to protect my feelings or something. He would have talked me in circles until I felt like I was the crazy one for being mad. Also, this isn't the first time he's interfered with my stuff. When I was 16, I did all the paperwork to get my learner's permit. The night before I was supposed to go to the DMV, my paperwork went missing from my desk. We tore the house apart looking for it. Frank said I must have been irresponsible and lost it. I found it 3 months later in his toolbox in the garage. He said he put it there for safekeeping and forgot. There was also a time I got a job offer at a bookstore. It was perfect hours. I needed a ride to the orientation because I didn't have my license yet, see above. Frank promised to drive me. 10 minutes before we had to leave, his truck wouldn't start. He spent an hour tinkering with it. By the time it started, I had missed the orientation and lost the job. Later, I saw him disconnect and reconnect the battery cable like it was nothing. I never had proof he did it on purpose, but I knew. I think I just knew that if I confronted him about the letter, he'd find a way to take it from me or destroy it completely. I needed to get out of the house with the evidence. Comment 1 in TA. This is textbook sabotage. He's trying to keep you trapped as unpaid labor for your brother. It's called parentification. The fact that he tore it up and hid it under coffee grounds proves it was malicious. Do not go back. If you go back, he will escalate. Ops reply, I've heard the term parentification before, but I always thought it was too harsh for my situation. I mean, it's my brother. I'm supposed to help family, but reading that back, yeah, it feels like he sees me as an employee who is trying to quit. The coffee grounds thing is what really gets me. It was so deliberate. It wasn't just tossing it in the bin. He covered his tracks. That's what makes me feel sick. It means he thought about it. He planned it. He waited for the mail, filtered it, destroyed the one thing he knew I wanted, and then acted totally normal eating his sandwich. That coldness is what scares me more than his yelling. Comment 2, you need to contact the school immediately. If he threw away the letter, who knows what else he's done. He might have intercepted emails or even called them. Make sure your spot is secure. Ops reply, I hadn't even thought of that. I've been so focused on the physical letter and the police situation. I have access to my email on my phone, and I changed the password last night just in case he knows it. But I should call the admissions office. I'm terrified to find out if he did something else. I remember once he told me that colleges rescind offers if they find out the student has family instability. I believed him at the time, but now I realize he was probably planting seeds so I'd be afraid to leave. I'm going to call the school first thing tomorrow morning. Comment 3 ESH. He shouldn't have thrown away your mail, obviously. That's a crime, but leaving in the middle of the night without a word, and leaving your autistic brother who relies on you, that's cruel. You could have waited until morning and had a conversation like an adult. You made your mom panic and call the cops. That was avoidable drama. Ops reply, I get what you're saying, and that's the part I feel most guilty about. I know my mom was terrified. I know Leo is probably having a hard time. But I honestly don't think a conversation would have worked. If I had tried to leave in the morning, Frank would have physically blocked the door. He's done it before when I tried to go to a friend's house when he wanted me to stay. He stands in the doorway and just doesn't move. He's twice my size. And my mom, she just cries. She cries and begs and says I'm breaking her heart. Between his intimidation and her guilt trips, I would have caved. I always cave. Leaving while they were asleep felt like the only way to actually break the cycle. Does that make me a coward? Maybe, but I felt like I was escaping a prison. Comment 4 in TA. Your mom is complicit. There is no way she didn't know. Even if she didn't know about the letter, she knows about the dynamic. She knows you're the third parent. She told the police you were having a mental breakdown to force you back. That is not what a loving mother does. Ops reply that's a hard pill to swallow. I want to believe she's just a victim of Frank's personality too. She's always trying to keep the peace. But you're right about the police call. She didn't just say I was missing. She specifically weaponized my mental health to try and get the cops to drag me home. She knows I'm not unstable. I've never had a breakdown. I'm a straight-A student. I'm the responsible one. For her to say I was hallucinating, she was trying to discredit me before I could show anyone the letter. That hurts more than what Frank did actually. Update, it's been 2 days since I left. Things have gotten messy. I'm still at Brittany's house. Her parents have been amazing. They told me I can stay in the guest room for as long as I need to figure things out. I took the advice from the comments and called the university admissions office yesterday morning. It took a while to get through to a real person, but when I did, my stomach dropped. The admissions officer told me that they had received a call the day before, the same day the letter arrived, from a Mr. Frank last name, claiming to be my father. He told them that due to a sudden family tragedy, I would not be able to attend in the fall and needed to withdraw my application. I almost dropped the phone. He didn't just want to hide the acceptance, he tried to kill it. Luckily, the university has a policy where withdrawals have to be done in writing from the student's email or through the official portal, so the person on the phone told him they couldn't process it over a voice call. He apparently got angry and hung up. The admissions officer made a note of it on my file because it was suspicious. I explained to her that I did not want to withdraw, that my stepfather was trying to sabotage me, and that I am 100% planning to attend. She was really understanding. She put a security password on my account so nobody can make changes without a verbal code. I felt a mix of relief and pure rage. I texted my mom and told her what I found out. I said, Frank called the school and tried to unenroll me. He pretended to be my dad. My mom called me almost immediately. She sounded exhausted. She said, he was just trying to protect you. We can't afford that school, and he didn't want you getting your hopes up just to be crushed by the debt. He went about it the wrong way, but he loves you. I told her the financial aid package covers almost everything. She got quiet, then she pivoted. Well, what about Leo? You're just going to leave him. He hasn't eaten properly in 2 days. He's banging his head on the floor. We can't handle him alone. I told her that sounds like a problem for his parents to solve. It felt cold to say it, but I remembered the comments about parentification. I told her I'm 18 and I'm going to college. Then Frank got on the phone. He didn't yell. He used that calm, disappointed voice he does. He said, you think you're so smart, don't you? You think you can make it out there on your own. You don't know anything about the real world. You're abandoning your flesh and blood for strangers. I said, you threw my future in the trash under coffee grounds. He said, I threw a piece of paper away. You're throwing your family away. Then he hung up. I've been feeling really shaky since that call. Brittany thinks I need to get my remaining stuff out of the house, but I'm terrified to go back there. I have my laptop and documents, but most of my clothes and my sentimental stuff, like photos of my bio dad who died when I was a baby, are still there. Also, I realized something else. My financial aid application, FAFSA, needs their tax information. If they refuse to give it to me for next year, I might be screwed. I mentioned this to Brittany's mom, and she thinks there might be a way to file as an independent if I can prove an abusive situation, but I don't know if threw away a letter counts as abuse to the government. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I know I'm right to leave, but the guilt about Leo is eating me alive. I keep imagining him crying and looking for me. Edit for those asking about my bio dad. He died in a car accident when I was 1. I don't remember him. Frank is the only father figure I've really known, which makes this betrayal hurt worse. I always tried to earn his respect. Now I realize he never wanted me to succeed. He just wanted me to be useful. Update 2, I didn't expect things to escalate this fast. Yesterday, I went to the police station to ask for a civil standby so I could retrieve the rest of my belongings. I didn't want to go alone, and I didn't want to put Brittany or her parents in danger by bringing them. The officer who helped me was one of the ones who came to Brittany's house that first morning. He remembered me. He agreed to meet me at the house. When we pulled up, Frank's truck was there. I unlocked the front door and the officer went in with me. My mom was in the kitchen. When she saw the cop, she looked like she was going to faint. Frank came out of the living room. He looked furious, but he didn't say anything because of the uniform. I went straight to my room. It was trashed. My mattress was flipped over. My drawers were pulled out. My clothes were everywhere, but the worst part was my desk. My framed photo of my bio dad was gone. The frame was there, smashed on the floor, but the photo was missing. I ran back to the living room and asked Frank where the photo was. He smirked. He actually smirked. He said, "I was cleaning, must have got swept up." I felt this surge of adrenaline like I wanted to attack him, but the cop put a hand on my shoulder. "Just get your essentials, son. Let's go." I grabbed what clothes I could. I found my yearbooks. I couldn't find the photo. I was crying by the time I left. As I was walking out the door, Leo ran out of his room. He saw me and started making his happy noise, running toward me. I stopped. He hugged my legs. He looked so messy. His shirt was on backward and he had food on his face. My mom stood there watching, arms crossed. She said, "See, he needs you. Are you really going to walk out on him again?" I looked at Leo and I knelt down and hugged him. I told him I loved him. Then I had to pry his little hands off my legs. He started screaming. It was the worst sound I've ever heard. I had to walk out the door while my brother screamed for me. I sat in the back of the cop car and just sobbed. The officer was really cool. He told me that what my stepfather did with the photo was cruel and unusual, and that I was doing the right thing by getting out. When I got back to Brittany's, I called the financial aid office at the university. I explained everything: the letter, the fake phone call, the runaway report, the police escort. They transferred me to a specialist. She told me about something called a dependency override. Basically, if I can provide documentation of the abusive environment and the estrangement, I can be considered independent for financial aid purposes. The police reports, the runaway call, and the civil standby are actually great evidence. She also said getting letters from guidance counselors or social workers helps. I went to my high school guidance counselor today. I told her everything. I've never told anyone about the home life before. She was horrified. She said she would write whatever letter I needed. She also told me she's legally a mandated reporter, and since Leo is still in the house and I described neglect, him not eating, the unclean state, she might have to call CPS. I froze. I didn't want to blow up my mom's life like that, but then I remembered the smashed photo frame. I remembered the coffee grounds. I told her to do what she has to do, so now CPS might be visiting them. My mom is going to blame me. Frank is going to blame me, but for the first time, I don't feel responsible for their mess. I'm moving into a youth shelter temporarily next week because I can't stay at Brittany's forever, but her parents are helping me set up a bank account that Frank can't access. It feels like my whole life has blown up in 72 hours. Final update: it's been about 3 months since I left. I wanted to wait until everything was officially settled before posting again. I'm currently writing this from my dorm room. I made it. I'm actually here. The last few months were a blur of paperwork and legal meetings. The dependency override for my financial aid was approved, mostly thanks to the police reports and the letter from my guidance counselor. I didn't need my parents' tax info or their signature for anything. I am officially independent in the eyes of the university. The CPS investigation was intense. They ended up visiting the house. I don't know all the details because I'm not privy to them, but I know they mandated parenting classes for my mom and Frank and set up respite care services for Leo. It turns out, without me there to be the buffer, the neglect became pretty obvious pretty fast. They didn't remove Leo from the home, but they are monitoring the family. My mom tried to contact me a few times. She sent long emails oscillating between "I miss you" and "you ruined us." She blamed me for the CPS visit. She said Frank is depressed because of what I did. I eventually had to block her number and email. It hurt, but every time I talked to her, I felt that old guilt creeping back in, telling me to go home and fix everything. I haven't heard from Frank at all, which is fine by me. The weirdest thing happened the day before I left for campus. I was at Brittany's house. I ended up staying there for the summer and working 2 jobs to save up money. I got a letter in the mail, forwarded from my old address. It was an envelope with no return address. Inside was the photo of my bio dad. It was wrinkled and had a tear in the corner, but it was the photo. There was no note. I assume my mom fished it out of the trash or wherever Frank hid it and sent it to me. It was the only kindness she's shown me in this whole process, and it felt like a goodbye. I visited Leo once, supervised at a park, arranged through my aunt, who is the only family member still talking to me. He looked okay. He seemed happy to see me, but he didn't cling to me like he used to. He's getting used to the respite worker. It broke my heart a little, but it also relieved me. He can survive without me. Being at college is surreal. Nobody here knows about the coffee grounds or the police or the screaming brother. I'm just a guy in a dorm. I can go to the library whenever I want. I can eat when I want. I don't have to listen for footsteps or meltdowns. I still have nightmares sometimes. I dream that I'm back in that kitchen and the acceptance letter is just ashes and I can't put it back together. But then I wake up and I'm here. I realized that Frank was right about one thing. I was abandoning my role in the family, but he was wrong about what that meant. I wasn't abandoning them. I was resigning from a job I never applied for. I made a copy of the acceptance letter, the taped together, coffee-stained original. I framed it and put it on my desk next to the photo of my dad. It reminds me that I fought for this life. Thanks to everyone who told me to call the school and warned me about the fake dad phone call. If I hadn't checked, he might have actually succeeded in canceling my enrollment. You guys literally saved my future. I'm going to go study now, because I can.